Hey sports fans, welcome back to another episode of the Talking Guy Report. This week we're going to be talking about rookies, just like I promised, Rookie of the Year candidates. We're going to throw in some other rookies that I think should be mentioned and probably miss some, but we're going to go for it anyway, alright? This is in no particular order, and I do also want to mention that across the bottom I'm going to scroll my personal power rankings where I think that people stand from this week. As far as how well they are, has nothing to do with their overall wins or anything like that necessarily. So thought you guys might like that. It's pretty interesting. I did do really crappy on this week's picks, but I think it was a cool week for football. So without further ado, I'm a guy talking. You're here to listen. So let's get started. All right, first one I'd like to mention is Javorius Allen for the Ravens. I feel like he's super underrated. On paper, he looks pretty crappy, but it's because the team can't get their offense going. You might try to blame that on not getting the running game going, that sort of thing, but it's the team in general. They can't get anything going on offense or defense. They're pretty low in my power rankings. Matter of fact, they're the worst in my power rankings. So, like I said, I think they're the worst team in the league, especially with Jimmy Clausen behind center. So, not looking too good for them, but Javorius Allen, he's going to be pretty good going forward. Going into Marcus Mariota, obviously he is biggest name, or one of the biggest names in the rookie draft, so he's doing a great job. All right, his team is not very good, but he can't carry the whole team. He's done a great job. I've seen a lot of really sparks that show me that he's going to be one of the top tier quarterbacks going forward, which is always a great thing to see from a rookie. Going into the Lions, Ameer Abdullah Alamgada. Ameer Abdullah, he has a lot of potential, but that backfield is so deep. That's the only thing that the Lions really have going for them. They have some great running backs. You have Theo Riddick, Ameer Abdullah, and these are two names that I never even heard of last year, and both of them are great. You also have Bell back there, so they have a great backfield there, and obviously one of the best wide receivers in the league. Matt Stafford's nothing to joke about, and on paper their defense looks very good. So I don't know why they won't win more games, but Ameer Abdullah, he's going to do really great things going forward. So look for him. He's not in the Rookie of the Year candidates or anything like that, but look for him to be doing great things. Todd Gurley, not enough can be said about this guy. Their team is not fantastic, it's not very good, but he himself is doing a fantastic job. He's without a doubt the best player on that team. He's insane. He gets better every week. He was running the whole team last week. So Todd Gurley, look for him to make a run for Rookie of the Year. I thought Jameis Winston would run away with it, but he's playing so well. It's hard not to at least talk about him. TJ Yeldon is a name that I'm surprised we haven't talked more about this year, or at least seen more out of this year. He's pretty good, and on a team that's not very good, he's been able to produce a little bit, especially early on in the season. I know they have some pretty good wide receivers down there, and Blake Bortles is doing a great job. But I expected to see more out of him, but he, going forward, will be one of the better picks out of this rookie class. Tevin Coleman, real quick, he looks great behind Devonta Freeman. He had a 110-yard game a couple weeks ago. So obviously he's proved that he can do pretty well, and that was against a pretty good team, the Vikings. So he's a pretty good one, and I've kind of expected him to do a little bit more, but with Devonta Freeman in front of you, there's not really much you can do. The Bears, Jeremy Langford is kind of in the front of them. You expect people to talk more about Jeremy Langford, but I don't think he's the best rookie on their team. The best rookie that I'm seeing is Eddie Goldman. He's a defensive tackle, if you don't know. But he's the type of defensive tackle you could build an entire team around. He's really shown me a lot. Like, he can do a really great job. And the Bears have not, they've come into the home stretch here, proven that they're a decent football team. They're somebody you got to watch out for. It's not necessarily because of their offense or anything like that. Alshon Jeffries is doing a great job. Zach Miller and even Jay Cutler has shown me that he knows how to play football again. So they're not a bad team going forward. But I think Eddie Goldman doesn't get enough credit. I think so. Hopefully we'll see more out of him, and hopefully they can build a team around him. Maybe be contenders next year. Jameis Winston. I said it before and I'll say it again. He is my Rookie of the Year candidate. He's done a great job producing for this team. He's got them into the playoff hunt. They won't make the playoffs, not likely at least. But I do think as far as Rookie of the Year, he has done more for his team than anybody and actually has the best record of the candidates that I'm taking seriously. So look for him to do great things going forward. As a Panthers fan, I'm scared of him, going into next year. This year I'm not too worried about it, but once he develops more and he gets his poise about him and that team develops around him, look for that team to show you what they're made of. All right, Matt Jones. He had some huge production for the Redskins early on in the season. I expected him to break some rookie records and all kinds of stuff, just blowing everything out of proportion. But he's really ended up being a backup type role, and he's done a really great job. He's had, like I said, some huge production in the beginning of the season. 100-yard game, I think his first game of his career, which is crazy. But he's going to be great going forward, and I don't expect him to stay with the Redskins. So, hopefully he ends up with a better team, because he is a really good running back, and having him second string is kind of pointless. Amari Cooper for the Oakland Raiders. He has helped Oakland go on a pretty impressive run here. I didn't expect them to be much of a team this year. They are technically in the playoff hunt. They're not going to make the playoffs, but if they had made the playoffs, I would be a little nervous for the other teams. I don't think that they would make a huge run and go to the Super Bowl or anything like that, but they might knock a couple teams off. And going forward, they probably will knock some extra teams off. They just beat Denver this week in a pretty impressive game. I thought they were pretty dominant the whole time with the team that has only lost 2 games this year. So, up until then at least. So, Amari Cooper, he's great. They also have a defensive rookie that's pretty impressive. So, look into Oakland. They're going to be good going forward. All right, for the Bills. Obviously, there's some great things going on for the Bills. They haven't been able to put it all together yet. But on defense, their cornerback, Ronald Darby, he's been defending a lot of passes. He's been doing a great job. Not exactly shutting them down, but he's been really blocking some passes and things like that. So Ronald Darby, look for him going forward. He's going to be a star in the league, I'm telling you. All right, the Chiefs, Marcus Peters. He's a cornerback as well. He's got 18 defended passes this year so far. Probably big for their success. So, again, look forward to him being a cornerstone for that team. Stefon Diggs for the Vikings. I'm just so impressed with this guy. I'm surprised he hasn't produced a little bit more than he has. He kind of came out of nowhere and surprised everybody. Didn't start the first few games and then just started tearing it up. He's had a couple 100-yard games. I think like one 95-yard game, so it was pretty close. But he's used less and less lately in that system. And it might be the reason they're losing more and more. So, Vikings, if you're watching, use the kid. Come on. Thomas Rawls obviously was doing a fantastic job for Seattle. This week he broke his ankle. He'll be out for the rest of the season, including playoffs. It's a big loss for them. I was really impressed with him. And obviously they don't have Marshawn Lynch either, so they're in their third string running game. But next to him, the active rookie that's doing a great job is Tyler Lockett. He's been running returns back, doing a fantastic job with that. And he's been catching passes. I think he had 2 touchdown passes last week. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know he had at least 1. And look for them to be throwing a lot more often. So maybe pick Tyler Lockett up on your fantasy, or Doug Baldwin after this week. Doug Baldwin put up some numbers, man. But Tyler Lockett is probably their best rookie that's still active, because obviously Thomas Rawls is out. Cardinals have David Johnson. Didn't expect to see much out of him going into this year. But last few weeks, he's had a couple 100-yard total offense games. So look for him to be great. And then the Panthers, the only rookie we really had to talk about is Devin Funchess. He hasn't been a big part of the offense so far, but I do expect him going forward to be a bigger part of the offense with Ted Ginn dropping passes like he does. He did have Devin Funchess has had a few touchdowns in place of him and stuff like that. And Ted Ginn did have a decent game last game. It was only 2 catches, but they were huge catches, 2 touchdowns. And I think one of them was 70 yards, one of them was 50 yards. So it's really big improvement for Ted Ginn. But look for Devin Funchess and Benjamin to be the 1-2 punch next year. I really think he's going to win it over there. Alright, so that was my breakdown of some of the better rookies in the league. Obviously, there's a lot of people I miss out, especially on defense. But real quick, I want to talk about the top 3. Alright, so you have Marcus Mariota, Todd Gurley, and Jameis Winston. I think the only 3 that I'm really taking seriously for Rookie of the Year. And right now, in my ranking would be Marcus Mariota 3rd, Todd Gurley 2nd, and Jameis Winston 1st. Again, Jameis Winston has done so much for his team. He's really kind of pushed him forward and made this kind of great run to kind of at least make people think that they can make a run for the playoffs. They won't make a run for the playoffs, but at least people can think that and kind of have hope for it. Todd Gurley, their team 5-8 right now. They ain't making the playoffs. Lots of struggles at quarterback and that sort of thing. But Todd Gurley's really stepped in. He is running all over the place. He's running through defenders. He's breaking tackles. He is just showing me that he is going to be one of the best running backs in the league. I give it a couple years before he starts breaking records and making Adrian Peterson look old. So look at Todd Gurley. He's really going to be changing the league. He's insane. And then Marcus Mariota, he does a fantastic job. He's so poised, and I was watching Inside the NFL, and they had him mic'd up, and he was just very polite and just such a nice guy. I really hope that he can do something with that team next year because he is really great. I'm a big Oregon fan too, so coming from Oregon, obviously I was a fan of him going in. So I wish I could say that he was a Rookie of the Year candidate, but I'm going to have to give it to Jameis Winston on this one. Even though Mariota beat the tar out of him in the first game of the season, I really think that Jameis Winston is the Rookie of the Year. Alright, so if you have a different idea of who Rookie of the Year is, or you want to throw somebody else's name in there, go ahead and leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. If you thought this was a cool video, hit like, subscribe for more videos. I will be putting up another video in the next couple days, breaking down next week's games. Hopefully I'll do a better job picking them, but I don't think there's going to be quite as many upsets as there were this week. But this week was a great week for football. It was fun to watch these games. I had a great time, even though my picks were really not very good. So thanks for watching. I'm a talking guy. You guys just listened. So come back and listen again. We'll see you next time.